everybody, and welcome back. We're back outside in our studio. It's a beautiful day. Whatever time of the week that you're practicing, just take all this sunshine in and have a great practice. Today, we have a request from my friends Debbie and Steve, who are in Atlanta, and she wanted to do some standing poses and some balancing poses, and we'll focus on that, but we'll also do some hips, and we'll play a little bit with hamstrings and see how the body goes. So let's get started. As always, you can take a block. For today's practice, if you have 2 blocks, I might suggest that. You don't need them for sure, but if you have them, it might help you out a little bit. So we'll take that block, we'll place underneath our seat, as we do pretty much every practice. We elevate that hip region so it's just above the knees. You feel like the knees are moving forward, kind of away from the body, and just opens up a little bit of space in the hips. It also allows that nice neutral lower back, mid-back, that thoracic area, which is another area we'll tap into just a little bit today. And then, of course, your cervical spine, which is your neck, okay? So take a couple moments, let your hands rest comfortably, let your eyes come closed, and just take a few deep rounds of breath. Taking a moment to explore the sensations that the body's offering. Again, depending on the time of day that you actually sit down on the mat, the body will present different feelings and sensations. As we've talked about the morning practices, the body is stronger, less flexible. As we move through our day, our body fatigues some, so it gets a little bit more tired, but we tend to be more flexible. So just be mindful of that as you step onto the mat and practice along. Our last practice, we took some of the actions that we normally include in our practice, the bandhas, and we kind of put them off to the side. But for today's practice, I'm going to bring them back, and we're going to use them, but I still want us to connect a little bit to that softness. Some of the poses that we'll do today will really kind of require us to soften and allow gravity to do a lot of the work. Right? Take a couple deep rounds of breath as you settle in. Let your shoulders gently move down your back, and you can do a little bit of rotation externally to open up the upper chest. We'll move down from the upper chest into our ribs, where we feel like we're just cinching in a little bit. And that very subtle action here influences the thoracic. It'll open it up a little bit. Moving into the lower belly. That bandha action of Uddiyana. We begin to feel that very subtle action of moving the belly button in and then up. And when you do that, you might experience a little bit of length in your spine. You may feel some more space being created. And of course, we have our sit bones moving into the block. Our legs are comfortably crossed. You can always extend the legs out if that's better for you and your body. Just allowing the breath to connect you to this position, and you're seated on the mat, letting the energy move in, quieting the external environment, but at the same time, that inner narrative beginning to soften that as well. We'll take a moment here to set an intention, and I'm going to check in with you all at the end of the class to see if that intention has shifted in any way as you move through the practice. Right? So take a moment to connect to your intention. And as we have done the last several classes, we'll take a group intention into the practice by moving the body in a mindful way, respectful way, moving in a way that allows us to connect to our body space and take it down that nice little pathway towards a greater sense of well-being. We'll offer the hands into prayer position to the heart, Anjali Mudra. We take a deep, full breath. We bow our heads. From that position, we lift the chin, release the hands, gently blink open your eyes, and we're going to come directly into a child's pose. So release the blocker if you're elevated on something, and then from there, let's move around and come into a child's pose. You can take your knees a little bit wider than your hip, and you can actually take them as much as mat width, and allow your hips to kind of move back towards your heels. If you need that block, you can place that underneath the pelvic floor to help you with a little bit of support. And maybe you reach your forearms to the floor as you breathe and allow that body to just soften in towards that position. And if we can take a moment here and close your eyes, and if your forehead is resting on the mat, allow that breath to reflect back into the body. You're setting this tone of almost like an internal meditation for the body. As you soften in, and you gently begin to squeeze the inner thighs together, activating that midline action. You take a little tuck of the tailbone, you take the tops of the feet and push them down, and if you feel comfortable on your forearms, maybe again stretch the arms all the way out and let that forehead rest on the floor. We'll take a couple rounds of breath here. Just taking each exhale and allowing the breath to move that energy into the floor, allowing that gravity to take a little bit more action within the pose so you feel a little bit heavier. And then from there, let's take our hands and spread the fingers as wide as we can and kind of lift our chest a little bit. And then from there, we're going to squeeze the inner thighs together and we're going to round our back as we propel ourselves forward to a variation of all fours. And then we're going to stay strong here on an inhale and then exhale, move it back into our child's pose variation, balasana. And then round forward again, moving the heart forward. And then exhale, taking it back. Let's do it a few more times. And you can add as much movement in the spine as you would like. You can feel like you're rolling over an imaginary ball as you flex the spine, rounding the back and moving the crown of the head forward, moving the heart space forward. Maybe 2 or 3 more. Just starting to open those hips. And this is a fairly active pose. My hands are strong. My legs are strong. My breath is deep. And I'm just gently moving this body in a nice rocking chair movement. Good. Let's do one more after this one. And then we'll come up to an all-fours position, bringing the knees back underneath the hips. And then from there, just kind of elevate. Allow your knees to be about 90 degrees. You can tuck the toes under if you want. Take your right hand into your belly. Take your left hand into your heart. And take a little tuck of the tailbone so you feel some length in the front body. Just take a couple deep rounds of breath. Maybe even move the shoulders back and apart a little bit. Good. And then reverse that movement. Good. Coming back into neutral. Let's take our arms into a cactus position. Now I'm going to turn and face you all here so you can see the actions in the front body, and then I'll turn back sideways so you can see the profile. As I take my shoulders back and my arms back, the tendency is to move the chest forward, creating more of an arch in my lower back. I want to treat that, but I want to pull back on my lower belly and my ribs to take that curve out. Now I'll turn back to profile so you can see that I really haven't changed much from that original position. I'm just moving my shoulders and opening my heart. Now, from here we're going to inhale and then exhale. Bring the forearms in and round your back a little bit. And then open up. Now notice my hips are moving just a little bit. As you breathe, you're rocking the body back and forth. So we're starting to move that energy deeper into the body. Hip flexors, core, thigh, hamstrings. Now, if your toes tucked under is uncomfortable, then you can absolutely take the tops of the feet towards the mat. Now, we can increase the range of motion. Maybe our hips go all the way back down towards our heels as we round. And we open up. And we release. Let's do this a few more times. Finding a position and movement and expression that is good for your body. Couple more. Breathing and moving. And then from this position, we're going to move right into cat-cow to continue moving that spine in a nice movement of in and out of its natural state, that flexion and extension. One more, full round. And we open up. Now, hands to the floor. Knees are about hip-width apart. You can tuck the toes or top of the feet to the mat, and then round the back a little bit, and then start your simple cat-cow movement. So as you move back and forth, you take this energy and just disperse it through the body. Couple more rounds. Good. Now, from here, let's come into a position of tabletop or that all fours position, taking that right leg straight back. Now, from that position, we know we want to activate that right side. So I'm going to push into the ball mount, lift my upper chest into my back, and I'm simply going to take that right foot off the floor. I'm going to bend my right knee, and I'm going to open my right knee towards the right. So I want to move it to a position that allows me to keep stability in the left side of my hip. So I'm not leaning way over towards the left. I'm simply lifting that right knee to a point of comfort. I'm going to breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From that, I'm going to take my right foot and I'm going to place it out to the right. Pinky side is heavy. Left hand is going to move into the floor, and I'm going to reach that right arm up towards my hip, where I'm going to roll that right shoulder open, opening across my chest, squeezing the inner thighs together, and perhaps from here, maybe that right arm comes up. Now we can look up, we can look forward, we can look down, wherever it's most comfortable for you. Stretch, reach, maybe that right arm now moves across the body space over your head, stretching. Maybe you follow with your eyes and you lift that left rib cage into the right so that right side is nice and open. And we'll take a couple rounds of breath here. Full cycles. Right arm comes back up. Now, notice how my palm is starting to face the back wall, and I'm internally rotating that shoulder girdle. So I'm taking that right palm and I'm going to face it out right on my sacrum. And then I'm going to reopen that right shoulder, moving my ribs and my shoulder together as a team, stretching. Again, you can look up, forward, or down towards your left hand. Breathe. Look down, release the right hand down, keeping that right leg where it is. We'll inhale full breath. Exhale round. Couple more. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last full round. Inhale. And then a big nice exhale round. Pause. Slide that right knee back underneath your hip. And I'm just going to zip around so you guys can see the other side. We'll do it together. Now, just as you probably have determined, I'm not mirroring you all, okay? So what you're seeing is opposite the side of what you're doing. Left leg goes back. Round the back a little bit. Left leg comes up, super strong. Bend the knee. And then simply open it to the left. Now, again, open it to a point where you're not collapsing into that right side, like you want to fall over. Lift lift it to the point where you find that stability on that right side. Couple rounds of breath. Strong arms. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left leg out. Hop it on the floor. Shoulder moves into the right heel of the hand. That left hand's going to come up and it's going to rest on my hip for a moment. So I'm going to open that left shoulder, open the ribs, and stretch and lift right ribs into the left. Again, look up, look forward, look to the right hand. And then from there, maybe that left arm goes up. Maybe it stretches over. Now I'm staying committed on that right hand because I want to make sure that right shoulder is in proper position. And breathe. We want to find, we talked about this last class, we want to find such perfect alignment in our body so the muscles have to work, but they don't have to work as hard. The body is strongest when the bones are stacked and properly placed. Left arm comes up. Notice that left arm starts to rotate back, swings around, places on the sacrum, that flat part of your lower back, palm out. Then that left shoulder, left ribs move back. And I'm going to open up and maybe look to the sky, look forward, or look down. Staying strong on that right hand. Breathe. Couple rounds, full cycles of breathing. Gaze down. Left hand's going to swing back up. It's going to move itself down towards the floor. Staying in this variation of all fours, I'm going to inhale here. I'm going to exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And then exhale. One more. Inhale. And then exhale. Neutral position. Left knee comes back underneath. Now bring your legs together and tuck your toes under. Walk your hands back. And then as you walk your hands back, we're going to lift those knees and roll right into a variation of malasana. Okay? The arches of the feet are together. The arches of the feet are moving down, so there's a big external rotation in your hips. Our hands can be out front to support us. Now, if this is uncomfortable, you can come back to your all fours position, okay, or take your feet a little bit wider. Now we're going to lift our heart, stretch forward, and just kind of sink in a little bit, softening those hips, letting the hips kind of move in the direction of your heels. This is a wonderful pose to release the lower back. Stretch. Breathing. Now, if you can, and you're fancy, maybe take one hand, grab that one ankle, and then maybe take the other hand and grab the opposite ankle, squeeze in, take the heart forward, and then simply round into the posture, taking your breath even deeper and allowing gravity to do the work. And you're just going to hold this pose for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands come back to the mat. Bring your knees together. Walk your hands back a little bit. And then from that position, we're going to slowly come into a standing split. As you come up, you're going to lift the heart forward. And as you exhale, you're going to fold. We're going to inhale all the way up, stretching and reaching, lengthening the body, bringing the arms over your head, and then from that position, we're going to exhale, hands to our side body. Now, from your position, step your right foot back. I'm just going to step wide. Well, actually, I'll do it mirroring you, or not mirroring you, but do it in the same direction. Take your right foot back, and then you're going to come into that wide leg split. Feet are going to be roughly parallel. Knees are going to be bent, hands to hips. Shoulders are back. Ribs are back, belly is back. Lift your heart, inhale, and then you're going to slowly start to fold. Now, as you fold, we're going to take those thighs and we're going to squeeze them together, sending our seat back, and we're going to come down about halfway. Now, From this position, we want to actively take our seat and tilt it forward so we bring in those nice stretch in the hamstrings. Now, if you have your block, place it on one of the various levels, okay? And you're going to place both hands on the block. We're going to inhale, look forward, stretch the shoulders back, and then we're just going to fold. Now, as you fold, the legs are staying active. We can place our forearms on the block if we'd like. Again, whatever direction the block is most comfortable suited for you. Stretch. Okay. Breathe. Now those legs have to stay super strong here. No pressure in the neck. And breathe. And then from that position, we're going to come back to a half lift. We're going to take that block and we're going to put it on this flat side. We're going to take that right hand, we're going to place it into the block, we're going to push down, we're going to lift our heart. Left hand's going to come to our hip. Now that left shoulder is going to roll open, that left rib is going to move back, that right hand is going to push into the floor, and maybe that left arm comes up to the ceiling. Now, if this is tight in the shoulders, then just leave your left hand here and roll that left shoulder open. Whichever is most comfortable. Again, you can look up, you can look straight, or you can look down. Breathe. Couple rounds of breath. And release. We're going to switch. I'm going to turn away from you so you can see the action in the back. Left hand on the block. Left shoulder, left hand. Right hand to the hip. Push down and lift up. Notice that space that's being created here by that heaviness in that left hand. Right shoulder's going to move back. Twist is coming from my thoracic area of the spine. Again, maybe that right arm comes up. Breathing. 3, 2, and 1. Reach it down, and then you're simply going to inchworm your feet together, right back to a forward fold, relaxing. From that position, inhale, lift the heart, reach through the belly into the crown of the head. As you exhale, we bring hands back to our prayer position, to our heart. Take a deep, full breath here. Exhale fully. Well done. Let's find the top of the mat. So we'll come to Tadasana. Legs are strong, a little bit of bend in the knees, okay? We're going to work a little bit of hips, and we're going to work a little bit of hamstrings, and we're going to work that upper back again, that thoracic area of our spine. Feet are parallel, shoulders are back, okay? From here, on an inhale, take your arms up. Stretch. On an exhale, we fold. Hands to the shin, hands to the floor to start. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees comfortably to get the fingertips to the floor. Inhale again, and now our right foot is going to step back as I move my block out of the way. My right knee is going to come down to the floor. So now I'm in this half lunge position. Shoulders are back. Arms up, right into cactus. Now, ribs back, belly back, shoulders open. Now, if you dart back to the beginning of class, we did some work on our shoulder and our upper back. We're going to do that here. So we're going to inhale, and then I'm going to exhale and round. Open up, exhale. Couple more, inhale, exhale. 2 more, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, pause. Squeeze in, round that back, open up, inhale, stretch the arms up with a full breath. Hands come to the floor. We're going to do 1 set of vinyasa here. That right knee is going to lift, that left leg is going to move back. Now you can come into a plank position or your downward dog. Strong arms, core is engaged, lift the chin a little bit, inhale, knees can always come down, Exhale all the way down. From there, tops of the feet to the floor. Cobra pose, inhale. Exhale, reach it down. Tuck the toes under. Let's inhale to all fours. Back into our downward dog posture. Stretch. Now, from down dog, take a couple rounds of breath, stretching the hips back. And again, allowing the body to find its proper alignment, allowing the muscles to relax. From there, we're going to lift our chin, either walk or maybe even hop to the top of the mats. Half lift, shoulders back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the heart, move through your body all the way up. And exhale, back into our Tadasana. Beautiful. Let's do the second side. On an inhale, take your arms up. On an exhale, fold. Half lift, inhale. Left leg steps back. Left knee to the floor. Hands to hips. Now, shoulders back, ribs back, belly back. Arms into that cactus position. Shoulders back. Open across that chest. Now, if you get here and this is where you want to be, absolutely. Legs are strong. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Moving with the breath. Circulating that energy around. This is a great sequence to do for the spine and moving it back and forth. Opening the heart, working the shoulders. Core is active. Legs are strong. 2 more. One more. Open up. Stretch up. Reach down. Left knee lifts. Right leg back, either downward dog or your plank position. That top of a push-up. Now, super strong arms. Core is engaged. Lift your chin. Want to keep those shoulder points up a little bit as we slowly release it to the floor. Come up, cobra. Shoulders are back. Exhale down. Tuck the toes. To all fours. Downward dog. Breathe. 5. Again, find your alignment of the posture. Let the body soften in down dog. Breathe. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift your chin, either hop or walk towards the top of the mat. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Standing tall, inhale, stretch up. Reach. Exhale, hands to side body. Nicely done. Beautiful. Take a deep, full breath. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Now, we're going to work into a little bit more action in our hips and a little bit more action and kind of transition into some balance work. From here, arms up, inhale, stretch. Exhale and fold. As you lift the heart, move the chest forward, move the shoulders back. Right foot's going to step back again. Now, move that left foot out to the left a little bit. Turn that right heel in so it's just on the inside of that left heel. Left knee over the left ankle. Left hand on the inside. Now, that outer left hip is moving back. Move your shoulders back, move your heart forward. Now, we can stay here. That right foot is strong, or maybe we walk our hands forward just 6 to 8 inches. Maybe we're here. Maybe we move those hands off the mat to the right, softening, okay? Keeping that left knee over the left ankle. Strong core, legs are very active, and you're just going to breathe here. Cinching the feet together, so trying to pull that left foot back, trying to draw that right foot forward so you feel that action in the hips, and even a little tuck of the tailbone so you get that nice external rotation in your hips, and you're going to breathe. 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk it back towards the left, and you're going to hop to the ball mound of that right foot. Now, we're in a runner's lunge. So from here, we're going to scoot that right foot forward just a little bit. Our hands can move in front of that left foot, and we're going to pull our hips back. That left foot is heavy, pushing into the floor. That left hip is moving back. Now, you can use your blocks on either side of that left foot if you'd like. We're going to take our heart forward. We're going to pull that left thigh back. We can stay here, or we start to fold. We want to try to get as long as we can in the spine. So letting that heart move in the general direction of that left foot. Now, I actually like to take my left hand on this side and push into the left foot. So I get that ball mound heavy. So as that's heavy, I pull that outer left hip back and fold. Couple rounds of breath. Just let that right heel kind of drift behind your right toes. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Move that left knee forward. Step your right foot forward. Half lift. Exhale, fold. Strong legs, stand tall. Inhale all the way up. And as we exhale, right back into our Tadasana, top of the mat. Beautifully done. Second side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale and fold. Half lift, inhale. Left leg is going to move back. Now take that right foot and inchworm it to the right just a little bit. Take that left heel and turn it down. So that right heel is just on the outside of that left. Right knee, right ankle. Hands on the inside. Now, strong core, upper chest is lifted, hands can move forward a little bit. But when your hands move forward, your body does not move with you. You're pulling it back. Hands can transition off to the side. That right hip continues to move back, and you can soften. And just breathe into the posture. Full cycles of breathing. 5, 4. You almost want to feel like you're moving away from the position of your hands. We've talked about this before. You can, such strong legs, when your hips move over towards, away from your hands, in this instance the right, your hands can come off. For 3, 2, 1. Walk it back. Come to the ball mound of your left foot. Now, push that right foot down strong. Pull that right hip back. Right ball mound is heavy. Right hip moves back. Maybe that right hand comes to the right top foot, and we pull it back. We can stay here. We can fold. And we take some offerings of deep rounds of breath. 3, 2, 1. Move forward. Runner's lunge. Hop the left foot next to the right, so you're in a half lift Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale and fold. Standing. Stretch. Reach. Back into our Tadasana. Take a deep full breath here. Maybe connect back to your intention of the practice. Let your eyes soften. Let the body kind of take the lead as your body and breath start to release into the floor. The energy starts to move down. We've moved the body now for about 25, maybe even close to 30 minutes, softening the breath. Now, I'm going to do one nice standing sequence here, and as our transition to the floor, we're going to do pigeon pose, okay? So, from this position, we're going to stand in Tadasana. We're going to inhale, lift the arms up, stretch. As we exhale, we're going to fold. As we inhale, we're going to lift the heart forward, and we're going to step that right foot back again. Now, this time we're simply going to turn that right heel into the left, so our initial alignment is left heel, right heel, hands to hips. Now, Warrior One, we want to know that our front body wants to be square. If you have some resistance here, take that left foot and inchworm it to the left a little bit. Magically, you have more room. That back leg is nice and strong. So from my right hip to my right foot is pushing down. From this position, I'm going to open up, breathe. Now I can move into a cactus, and I'm going to open my heart. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stretch the arms up. Now I'm going to open up into a warrior 2 position. Now, if you feel a touch out of sorts because we move that leg, then simply move that left foot back a little bit. Now I'm square towards the top of the mat, okay? Hips are open, thighs are moving away from each other, chest is square, my arms are going to move out. I'm taking a little tuck of that tailbone, so again, my pelvis and my upper thighs are open. Warrior 2, I'm going to look towards my left hand. Shoulders are back. Now I'm going to straighten that left leg a little bit. That left knee is going to be bent. My right hand's going to come to my right hip. My left hand is going to move forward. Now as I move forward, that left hip, I want to deepen that crease in that space where my left hand is. Now, from that position, that left hand can drop down to your left shin. If you have the room, it can go to the floor. Now I'm going to tuck my tailbone. I'm going to move the front part of my pelvis towards the top of this mat. Shoulders are back, ribs are back. I'm trying to find as much length in my side body as I can. Now from here, we can stay here, where that right arm can come up, that right arm can come over and stretch. We're going to breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right hand down, left hand down. Now from here, we're going to hop that right foot forward again. I'm going to take that left hand, maybe I take it on a block, okay? I'm going to scoot that right foot forward. I'm going to lift that right foot off the floor. Maybe that right hand comes to my right hip. Now that left foot gets nice and heavy. The right toes are pointing away from me. Maybe that right arm comes up. Ardha Chandrasana. Super strong on that left leg. You can look down, you can look forward, whoops. You can look towards the right hand and you're breathing. Take a breath. Right hand comes down. Right toes are going to point down. We're going to inhale, fold, standing split. Offering that right leg as high as it'll go. For 3, 2, 1. Inhale, right foot forward, place it on the floor, fold, standing. And release. One of the things that I take from my practice every time I step on the mat, there's going to be times where you're going to wobble, where you're going to kind of feel like you're going to fall over. That's just part of the practice. If that's not happening, okay, it's just part of it. So go with it, let it happen, laugh at it. We're not perfect, okay? Just let that be a learning experience for your body and how to create more stability from actions within, okay? So, second side, arms up, inhale. Fold and exhale. Because trust me, I'm wobbly a lot and tipple over sometimes. Inhale, half lift, left leg moves back. Left heel moves in. Hands to the hips. Now, right leg is out front. Again, maybe I move that right foot over to the right a little bit so I have more room to square. Ribs, chest, into cactus, stretch back, breathe, back leg is strong. Good, for 3, 2, good. Open up to warrior 2. Now again, if I'm going to adjust my feet just a little bit, my thighs are moving away from each other. My arms are going to stretch out to a T, and I'm going to take my gaze over my right hand. Stretch, breathe. Now from here, left hand's going to move to the hip. I'm going to pull that right hip back. My right ball mound is going to get heavy, And again, I want that crease here in this hip to deepen, to get real, real deep. Pulling that right thigh back, left ribs move back, stretch, heart moves forward. Maybe that right hand moves to my right shin. Shoulder back. Again, you can work the posture from here. Now, that tailbone should tuck just a little bit to activate the hips a little bit more. Maybe the left arm moves up. Maybe the left arm moves over. And we'll breathe. And also finding that one side is going to offer something different. Like this side for me particular is more stable, okay? I have a little bit more room to move on this side, so just be mindful of that as you move through your practice. Good. You're going to look down. You're going to take that left hand down, that ball mound to the right, to the left foot. You're going to scoot it forward a little bit. That right hand's going to move outside that foot. That left leg is going to go up. That right foot's going to get nice and strong. You're going to lift up. You're going to point the toes away from you and roll that left hip up. Left hand moves up, and you're going to stretch. Again, you can look down, you can look forward, or you can look up. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. 3, 2, 1. Left hand moves down. Notice my toes. They point down to level my lower back. Strong right leg, inhale, exhale, fold. Left leg can go as high as it can, okay? Breathe. 3, 2, 1. As we inhale, we're going to lift. Step that left foot forward. Place it on the floor. Deep fold. Standing tall. Inhale. Stretch. Breathe. And release. Beautifully done. Let's take a moment in Tadasana before we transition to our posture. We're going to do pigeon, and then we're going to come to the floor and do some work there. So taking some deep breaths. Let's find downward dog. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Half lift, inhale, step back, downward dog. Now, if you want to go through the vinyasa, do your cobra or perhaps your up dog. Shoulders are strong. Knees can come down if you like the support. And then as you come into an up dog or cobra, move the shoulders back, open across your heart. Move the head back and open the chest. Flip the toes, back into downward dog. Now, pigeon pose. If pigeon pose is not a pose that you're comfortable with, okay, you can come to your back, cross figure 4, so one ankle over the opposite knee, and bring that thigh into your chest. Okay, that's a great way to release. It's basically reclined pigeon pose. Now, for those who are doing pigeon, that right leg's going to come up. We're going to bring that right knee to the outside of our right wrist. Now notice it is outside my right wrist. Outside my right wrist, outside my right hip. This right foot, I like the alignment of right heel, right hip bone. I'm going to square. I'm going to take that left foot, and I'm going to scoot it back a little bit. Now, that right foot is moving down. You can even take your right hand, push it into the floor, anchor it. That right hip moves back a little bit. That left foot moves down. Now, I like to look around to make sure that my left leg is, in this instance, is directly behind my hip, that it's not off to the side one way or another, okay, that it's directly behind. Now, from there, I'm going to inhale, lift the heart, and I'm going to drop down to my forearms. Now, some of you I know like to take your arms all the way out. Absolutely acceptable, fine, whatever's best for your practice. I'm going to stay here. I want to find the length in my spine. We want to create a dynamic action to where the outside of the hips are moving in. So that right hip is moving back. In a subtle way, that left hip is trying to move forward, and I'm squeezing the inner thighs together. Now, we're going to hold this posture for about 5 breaths. Very strong in the core. It's a very active and committed pose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, if you're on your arms straight, walk your arms back to forearms and kind of move your hands off to the left a little bit. Okay? Let your forearms rest. Stay strong in the core, and then start to move that right hip back a little bit. So you're getting a nice opening in the ribs. You're getting that mid-back stretch, working that thoracic, and you breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk it back to the right. Now, take your right hand a little bit in front of your right knee. Take your left hand and cup that right knee. Take your right hand back to the outside of your right knee. Push down, lift your chest, and open up towards the right. Now, we're pulling that right hip back actively. Stretch. Breathe. Good. Look down. Ground your hands so that they're nice and secure. Lift those left knee off the floor. Okay, you can scoot it forward a little bit and release that right leg back, downward dog. Now, if you want to do the vinyasa, absolutely, we'll hold down dog for about 3 breaths. So find your posture, breathe into it, and stretch back. Good. From this, left leg comes up. Left knee to the outside of your left wrist. Take that right foot and move it back a little bit. So inchworm it back. That left hip is moving back. Hands underneath the shoulders, lift the heart. Strong legs. Maybe that right hand comes to the left foot and you lift up, so ground yourself. Stretch the heart forward. Forearms, or again, you can walk your arms all the way out and rest. Taking some deep rounds of breath, active and alert body. Okay? Outer hips move in, chest moves forward, shoulders move back. Both feet are active. Left foot pushes down, right foot pushes down. Okay? Breathe. 5 rounds of breath. This is one of these poses that for some of us can be a little bit on the agitating thing. It's like, oh, you know, I'm not really a big pigeon fan, but if you get into it and allow your body to soften and allow gravity to do its work, properly align yourself and stay active, it can turn into an actually very, very comfortable position to be in. Benefits are endless. Now, we're going to walk our hands to the right. So now you can see that left side opening up, and we want to take that left hip and we want to pull it back. Stretch. Move the shoulders back, take the heart forward. Good. Come back into neutral. Left hand is a little bit out front. Right hand's going to come to that left knee. Left hand's going to come outside. We're going to root down, and we're going to open up towards the left. Nothing else has changed. All the actions have stayed with the transitions through these different little pieces of this posture. Breathe. Good. Root your hands. Lift your heart. That right knee is going to lift. That left leg is going to go back. Downward dog. Stretch back. Breathe. Inhale. Knees down. Now, from that, we're going to jump right into that pose that we started off with early on. So let's come to kind of a kneeling position and sit back on your heels. Now, you can always take the tops of the feet to the floor. Okay? This tucking the toes under allows a big stretch for the soles of the feet. Now, notice the difference in how your body responds to what you're asking it to do from this position. Okay, we've done it before. We're in a much more open space now. Now, lift up, strong core, little tuck of the tailbone, cactus. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Notice almost immediately I start moving my hips a little bit more in that back and forth movement. Now, you can change the range of motion. You can stay tucked, go back to your heels and round. Or you can take the tops of the feet and have a little bit more space to move. Using your thigh and core to open up, controlling with the same muscles as you drop back. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Resting back, bringing the hands into prayer position, taking a deep, full breath. And a nice long exhale, releasing the hands. Let's transition to our backs. You're almost there, folks. Doing great. So as you come to your back, take the soles of the feet directly to the floor. Okay? So you feel that connection. Back of the head rests. We're going to do one bridge pose. Knees in alignment with the feet. Hips square to the knees. Arms alongside our body. Now we tapped into this the other day when we practiced. We're going to try to lift from our hip bones up, not pull from the belly button. Lift from the hip bones, which is going to send the tailbone away from us and lengthen our spine. So from this, shoulders back. Inhale, lift. Again, pull from right here. Stretch. Breathe. Now you're welcome to do any variation you want. You can take one leg up if you want. Always remember to do the second side, whichever works best for your body. Taking some deep, full breaths. 5, 4, 3, 2. Now you're going to release from that same spot. Release. Seats rested, soles of the feet together. Take your hands on your belly. Okay. Just feel that warmth from that center line of your body. We're going to do one nice gentle twist here before we find that resting pose. Legs together. Left ankle is going to rest right on top of that right thigh. We're going to move the knees to the right. That left foot is going to hover. My arms can come into a cactus if I'd like. Straight back if that's better for you. And we're simply going to let that left knee move away from us. Arms can of course be in a T, palms up, palms down, whichever feels best. Breathing. This particular posture, great hip opener. You could have taken this and plopped it in anywhere along the sequence. Early, middle, we're doing it at the end. Anywhere along, great benefit. Helps open up, good supplemental work for pigeon pose. Slowly come back. Switch. Right ankle again, right on the top of the thigh, so we're not over it, we're on top of it. As we move to the left, right foot's going to hover, right knee's going to move forward. We find a nice space for our arms, and we breathe. Full cycles of breathing, slowing everything down. We talked in the beginning of class about softening the inner narrative, that monkey mind, okay, that constantly goes. Allowing yourself the time to do whatever it is, whether it's a yoga practice or any form of exercise, just even getting outside and doing a nice walk around the block with fresh air. It helps soften that inner narrative, that voice that's often so talkative inside of us. Breathing. And then slowly come back into neutral. Bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice little squeeze, maybe a little bit of movement to massage the spine. And then from that position, we're going to stretch the legs all the way out, reaching the feet away from us. Stretching the shoulders into the floor, so let them be a little heavy. Take the arms alongside your body. Let your toes roll open. Take a deep, full breath. We'll do 2 deep breaths. So as you inhale, lift your arms. Lift your legs, inhale. Drop. Now, for those of you who would like to stay an extended period of time in Shavasana, absolutely. Okay, we'll take a minute or 2 here, and then we will, for those of you who want to stay, great. For those of you who have a time restraint on your practice today, we'll officially close class. So just taking your deep rounds of breath and letting everything go. For those of you who would like to spend some more time in Shavasana, just remain on your back, releasing and softening, breathing easy, enjoying this moments of stillness. For the others, begin to deepen your breath, begin to move the fingers and toes. Stretch the arms over your head and just take a nice deep full round of breath and just stretch the arms back and over as you roll gently to one side, offering a round or 2 of breath there. And then from that position, slowly making your way to a seated posture comfortably. Once you enter the seat, take a moment to allow the posture to develop. Take a moment to find it. Sit fully, sit with an open heart, sit with a nice long spine. We recall the intentions of our practice, our group intention, for an overall greater sense of well-being as we were mindful about our movements. And that can take effect on our mat as well as when we leave our mats. And then your personal intention, we draw the hands into prayer, position to the heart. We bow our heads. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to practice. Be well, be safe. Namaste.